What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Matt's Mind here. We're at episode number 60. I know it's been 2 weeks since the last one. We've been very busy with Brick Fair and then editing all the Brick Fair content. If you guys haven't checked out any of the vlogs or the mock showcase stuff or the Tyson's Corner launch day videos, I'll leave a link down below to the playlist. Go check those out. Those are super awesome. But we are back here in the studio finally, and we got a lot of questions to get through. Now, if you guys have any questions you want me to feature and answer in next week's episode, number 61, for coming out next Monday, make sure you guys drop a like down below. Comment your question down below in the comment section. Of course, make sure you guys subscribe. And let's go ahead and jump on to the first question here from Tommy Dempsey. Matt's Mind, what do you like and dislike about the Marvel CMF series? So I am not the biggest Marvel fan. I definitely consider myself somewhat of a casual fan. So I've seen the movies, I've seen the Iron Mans, the Thors, the Captain Americas, the Hulks, whatever it may be. I actually am pretty excited about the Marvel CMF series. Like I said, I'm not a hardcore fan, so I'm not really looking for the nitpicky details when it comes to the minifigures, but I have seen WandaVision and I have seen Loki, so I'm excited to get minifigures from both of those series because I actually genuinely enjoyed those two shows. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I tried to get into in the first episode. It just didn't do it for me, so I guess I can kind of care less about those. But what I'm most excited about for the Marvel CMF series is that it sort of opens up the door to maybe potential Disney Plus series minifigures. So maybe not specifically going for one theme such as Marvel or Star Wars or whatever it may be, but hopefully down the line, if contracts change and obligations change, maybe we could actually get a Star Wars Disney Plus from maybe the Clone Wars and the Bad Batch and maybe even some other shows coming up. So I'm very excited. I'm pretty happy with how they look in terms of minifigures for the Marvel series, but I'm more excited for what this opportunity means going forward. Brickmasters asking, when it comes to a simple mock like a building or even a Star Wars base, do you think you are better at interior or exterior builds? Without a doubt, exterior. I mean, if you look at my Anaxis mock, for instance, the exterior I was very proud of. The walls, the buildings from the medical bay, the barracks, everything like that looked really cool, especially the mountain base with the door. The inside was okay. It wasn't anything crazy. If you look at my med bay, there were some pretty cool details and stuff, but it wasn't anything crazy. I like spending the most amount of time building the things that you're going to see initially. So, for example, if you're at a show or a convention, you see, of course, the exterior, the vehicles, the streets, whatever it may be, and the terrain, and I like spending more time on that, and I'm also just not equipped and skillful enough to make a really good detailed interior. Exterior is definitely my thing. Wise Cards is asking, will we ever see a Geonosian arena set? I feel like it would be a great play set and would be extremely, well, honestly, I would love to see it. Do I think it's going to come? There's definitely a chance. Of course, Attack of the Clones anniversary is coming up, and I've always been advocating for a Geonosian Arena Master Builder series set. We've got one for Betrayal of Cloud City, for the Mos Eisley Cantina, even something very similar to like the Hoth UCS that we got a while back. I think the Geonosian Arena would tailor perfectly to that. You would have the columns, the different buildable creatures, of course, all the minifigures, Padme, Obi-Wan, Anakin, even the Geonosians themselves, and maybe some extra Jedi, Count Dooku, a Jango Fett, which we haven't gotten in quite some time. I would love to see it. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. I think there's definitely a good chance going into 2022, but I'm going to remain carefully and cautiously optimistic. Clone Brix is asking, any ideas on what could possibly be the next mock or your top 5 ideas? Love your channel, and I definitely go with the gunship. So to answer your question, the next mock has been chosen. For about a week now, I've known what I'm building, and I'm gradually starting to go into the planning and preparing phase for the mock. I'm expecting to launch the mock series probably around end of September, beginning of October, but it is definitely going to happen. I'm very excited for it. I have never been more excited for a mock in my life, so this is going to be fun. All I can say is stay tuned. I don't want to spoil it just yet, but you guys are going to like it. Lego Maestro is asking, I've recently gotten into Lego investing on a much larger scale than you, but I was wondering when the best time to sell the sets is. After the sets retire, 3 years down the road, 5 years, or even 10 years. Thanks, and I love your content. So this is not a question that's generally answered by one specific statement. So I'll give you a great example. The Slave 1 UCS. It was in production for 8 years, which is astronomically larger and longer than any other UCS set we've had in past. So if you were to ask very generally, I'd say about 2 to 3 years after a set retires. But obviously, the more years pass, generally the more expensive the set gets. But what's going to be a good opportunity for the Slave 1 or the 20th anniversary Slave 1, if you guys haven't and are investing, is the Book of Boba Fett comes out end of this year. Now, if I had a UCS Slave 1, which I may or may not have, and other Slave 1 stuff that I've invested in, I would say selling it during the peak of Book of Boba Fett is probably going to be your best bet, especially since LEGO is opting to no longer include the name, quote, Slave 1 in their sets. The new one is called Boba Fett Starship. So the Slave 1 UCS, for example, is one of those situations where you have to take a look at everything going on around you in terms of content, in terms of TV shows and movies and whatever it may be, to sort of make the right decision. But generally, I like to wait at least a couple years until after something retires to even consider selling it, unless there's a show that comes out or something like that that really drives up the price super fast. Oil F is asking, Crosshair Squad Battle Pack? I know Battle Packs aren't really meant for individual characters, but knowing LEGO, it could be a possibility. So I'm not opposed to getting one named character in a battle pack. Maybe that's just me. I know people love to complain about getting, 4 regular clones or 4 regular stormtroopers or troopers, whatever it may be. I am not opposed to getting a named character in a battle pack, and this would be something great. Now, the only gripe I have with is how LEGO actually created the armor and the printing for the Crosshair squad. Obviously, in the LEGO form, it's pretty much all black with the green visor. However, in the show, it's more gray, which would look astronomically better. So I'm a little upset about how LEGO decided to go about the printing for that, and because of that, I'm going to say I don't want a Crosshair's battle pack because I'm just simply not a fan of how they did Crosshair's minifigure in the Bad Batch shuttle. However, if for some reason they were able to do it more gray than black like it is in the show, I'd definitely be behind that, but I think there's going to be opportunity for other battle packs coming very soon, so I think we're going to be seeing some pretty cool battle packs in the winter. I don't have any insider information, but I'm really optimistic about this year, or 2022's I should say, battle pack lineup coming up in the winter. Blizzard Gaming's asking, is there any anime shows that you enjoy watching? So I actually have never watched a lick of anime in my entire life, and I know that the new Star Wars, I think it's called Visions, where they basically went to different production studios for that are known for creating anime and made Star Wars. That's probably the only exposure I'm going to have to any sort of anime. I'm going to go into it with an open mind. I am a little hesitant about the animation style of anime and the pacing and stuff like that, but I'm going to completely try it, but I've never actually watched anime ever. So Star Wars will probably be the first and only time. Falca Camo is asking, I know this question will be old by the time you get to it, but what summer clearance have you found and what have you bought for future investments? So pretty much everything I found in this year's summer wave, it was decent for summer clearance. Unfortunately, I just don't think I caught it at the perfect time, but I bought the Obi-Wan's hut, I bought some Ninjago sets, I bought some of the city passenger airplanes for a pretty good discount. I know there was some Valentine's bears, the Wonder Woman set went on clearance. Pretty much everything I bought in the summer clearance is definitely for investment. I think I'm going to wait on it for at least 1 or 2 years, maybe even sell it before I have to move out, just to try and get some extra money. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. It wasn't, like I said, I don't think I caught it at the right time, like perfectly. I definitely got some good deals, but I think there's still a lot more that I could have gotten if I had Walmart's a little bit closer to me, because I think the closest one is like 30 minutes, which isn't horrible, but it's it takes a lot of time out of the day. So Snowball has 3 questions here. I'll allow it because Snowball is the best. We got question number: when are you starting your next mock? Like I said earlier, probably end of September, beginning of October, and then taking me into June or July of next year-ish, depending on when I move out. Question number 2, will you ever do a mock non-Star Wars related? Most likely no, at least not here on the channel, because Star Wars is my thing. Star Wars is the thing that's going to generate the most outreach when it comes to this channel, and it's the most fun I have building stuff. So maybe I'll build like a Game of Thrones display or something like that for my own personal use. But in terms of stuff you guys will see in videos and time lapses and live streams, it'll most likely almost exclusively be Star Wars, and I'm actually kind of okay with that. And lastly, what is the one thing you hate about LEGO? I say the one thing that I hate about LEGO is when you're starting a mock and you really don't know where to start. I think that's the most discouraging thing I've come across, and it's honestly a large chunk of the reason why my past 2 mocks have not been completed, because it's been super hard to get started and start to vision what you're building when you have so much to go through. I would love it if there was like an easier way to do that. Honestly, I think it's just a part of me needing to be more creative and more, I guess, driven when it comes to building mocks. But the one thing I can't stand is that just finding a place to start for me is always the most difficult. But once I get that ball rolling, it goes over fairly smooth. Mr. Brick is asking, if we got a UCS or MBS for 20th anniversary episode 3, would you rather get a Venator or a Jedi Temple? 100% a Venator. I've been advocating for that for such a long time. I want it perfectly to scale with the UCS Star Destroyer, which wouldn't be that hard. It would be smaller, actually. I think I'm only about 2/3 of the size of a Star Destroyer. So I would like a Venator. Jedi Temple would still be cool. I would prefer Venator, though. I think that would just look cooler. Maybe give some like 1 or 2 exclusive figures. Call it a day. And the last question for today comes from Brickmasters Productions. Do you want to invest in something like pad printing machine to make custom clones? Do you think it is better to make your own printing machines and molding than Clone Army customs? So This is a great question and something I've definitely considered for the longest time. Unfortunately, my view right now is that there is a huge oversaturation of custom printing and custom figurines in the community. Now, that doesn't mean that's bad, because I think there are companies that tailor to very specific and niche communities, which is very good, and I've gone to them for the longest time. I've also heard through the grapevine that running a pad printer and running all these printing machines is not only very annoying, but also incredibly expensive. And unfortunately, I just don't have the extra cash flow to spend $20,000 investing in a machine, and thousands of dollars after that for maintenance, and then on top of that, other thousands of dollars to buy the product, the legs, the torsos, the helmets, whatever it may be. So as of right now, I don't really see that being something for me. I think I just go to other customizers where there's opportunity where I can. But again, from what I've heard, printing is a very costly business. Obviously, you can make very large amounts of profit, but for me right now, it's just not something I'm going to be doing. So guys, thank you for watching episode 60 of Matt's Mind. We are kind of fast approaching episode 100. We should be there by next spring or so, which is nice. So if you guys have a question I didn't get to, I apologize, but drop it down below again in the comments. Drop a like and subscribe if you guys want to have your question answered. We got a lot of great questions this episode, and we are back now. We're off the Brick Fair grind, so we're going to be back here every single Monday doing these videos and answering your questions. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you later. Take it easy. Peace.